Yes, students, now let's discuss about the basis of accounting. Basis of accounting means basically the way, the method which we choose to record our transactions and the methods which we choose to post our transactions. See, as I told you, that accountancy means basically a science which gives us some theories, some laws, some rules and regulations, no? So there are two methods, means basically the accountancy only has given us two different way outs, and it's our wish only that out of these two, which way we want to go for. The first is cash basis of accounting and the another is the accrual basis of accounting. These two bases have been given by accountancy. Now it depends upon us that out of these two which we are going to use. Let's discuss them in detail. First is cash basis of accounting. Cash basis of accounting is a very simple method. As per this basis, only those transactions will be recorded in the books which can be expressed in terms of money, or which can, or like the transactions which either leads to inflow of cash or outflow of cash. Suppose if I say that I means business, I'm repeating again. Suppose if business have sold goods to Ram for cash and business have sold goods to Sham on credit, then goods sold to Ram for cash will be recorded under cash basis of accounting, but goods sold to Sham on credit will not be recorded, because here only we are going to record the cash transactions. But now as I have sold goods to Ram also, to Sham also, but to Ram on cash and to Sham on credit. Now both these kind of sales, cash or credit, will be recorded under accrual basis. It means that under accrual basis we are going to record cash transactions also, credit transactions also. Suppose if I have purchased goods from X for cash and I have purchased goods from Y on credit, then purchase of goods from X will be recorded under cash basis and Y का यहाँ record नहीं होगा. But purchase of goods from both X and Y, whether cash or credit, both will be recorded under accrual basis. So simple definition is, under cash basis only those transactions will be recorded which can, which basically related to cash, which leads to either inflow of cash or outflow of cash. Next is, here under cash basis only we record those incomes which have been received in cash. आपको पता है कि income की दो categories होती हैं. Suppose, let me put it like that, you know that in the current financial year, now let's say this financial year had started on 1st April, no? So 1st April 2020 to 1st April 2021, this period of 12 months is one accounting year. In one accounting year, we are going to record only those expenses which are related to this year, and we record only those incomes which are related to this year. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि करंट ईयर में कुछ एक्सपेंसेस ऐसे होते हैं जो नेक्स्ट ईयर के होते हैं, आप करंट ईयर में पे कर देते हैं. कभी कभी कुछ ऐसी इनकम्स होती हैं जो नेक्स्ट ईयर की होती हैं बट आपको करंट ईयर में एडवांस में मिल जाती हैं. बट मोर और लेस one basic rule is there, no, that in the current financial year we have to record only the expenses and the incomes of the current year. अब suppose कीजिए that in current year, like income is there, आपको interest मिलता है, you have received interest only for 8 months, but you have to receive interest for whole 12 months. No, एक financial year में 12 months होते हैं, you have received interest only for 8 months, you haven't received interest for 4 months. So वो जो 4 month का interest है जो आपको इस year receive होना चाहिए था but you haven't received it yet, that 4 months interest becomes accrued income. Fine, but in case of cash basis of accounting, no, you are only going to record the interest of 8 months which you have received in cash. The interest of 4 months which you haven't received in cash, no, you are not going to record it. But under accrual basis, you are recording accrued incomes also. And I told you just now what accrued incomes are. Accrued incomes are the incomes of the current year only, but we haven't received in cash. Now suppose if I say that I have invested money somewhere and I am getting interest at the rate of 1000 per month. It means logically I should get interest of 12,000 in 1 year. But due to some reasons, I could not get interest of 4 months. It means out of 12,000, I have received only 8,000. Now, if I am maintaining my books under cash basis, no, I'll record only 8,000. But if I am maintaining my books under accrual basis, then I'll record 8,000 also, and I'll record that 4,000 accrued income also. It means that accrual basis of accounting is more comprehensive. Got it? Now similarly, only those expenses we are going to record it which have been paid in cash. If I talk about cash basis of accounting, then you are going to record only those transactions which you have paid in cash. The transactions, the expenses which you have not paid in cash, but they are of current year, it will not be recorded. Suppose the building जिसमें आपका business operate करता है, you have taken that building on rent. You are paying rent of ₹1,000 per month, let's say. So it means एक year में आपको total 12,000 rent pay करना है, but you have paid rent of ₹7,000 only. It means rent of 5,000 is outstanding. Outstanding means the liability, the rent which you have not paid yet. You had to pay 12,000, but you have paid only 7,000. Still 5 months rent is outstanding. Now if you are maintaining your books as per cash basis, obviously those you have received rent of ₹7,000, you have to receive for 12,000, but you will record rent of ₹7,000 only. आप क्या दिखाएंगे कि आपका expense 12,000 नहीं है, आपका expense 7,000 है, because actually 7,000 have gone out of the business. But in case of this, you are going to record outstanding expenses also. It means you will not only show that 7,000, आप उस 7,000 को तो show करेंगे, but apart from that 7,000, you are going to record that 5,000 also as outstanding expenses, because ultimately that 5,000 is related to current financial year only, no, though we have not paid it yet, लेकिन है तो इसी financial year का. अगर पे करते तो profits को कम तो करता ना 5,000 से, so it means that we have to record it, because ultimately I want to find out my true profit. मुझे ये देखना है कि मेरा true profit क्या है. So I will show this 5,000 also just to find out कि अगर हम इस 5,000 को पे करते तब कितना profit रह जाता. But in case of cash basis, we are going to record only 7,000. तो अब आप मुझे बताइए कि आपको दोनों में से ज़्यादा comprehensive कौन सा लगता है? I feel more comprehensive is accrual basis. Accrual basis only will give us fair view of profits or losses. Cash basis will not give us fair view. Fair view क्यों? क्योंकि आपके total profits में से आपने कितना subtract किया होगा. Just 7,000 का expense आपने minus किए तो आपके profits तो ज़्यादा show रहे हैं ना, because you have not shown that ₹5,000, because वो cash में नहीं गया. But you will get to know about this thing in detail in the later chapters. But just try and understand this thing, that we need just to find out the true profit, to find out the correct profit, you have to show all those expenses in the current year whether they have been paid in cash or not. Got it? आपको वो दोनों दिखाने पड़ते हैं. Only then you can find out the correct profit. क्योंकि अगर आप जस्ट वही एक्सपेंसेस दिखाएंगे जो आपने कैश में पे किए हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली वो एक्सपेंसेस आप शो नहीं करेंगे जो आपने कैश में पे नहीं किए, तो आपके प्रॉफिट्स का वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. गॉट इट? सो इट मीन्स दैट accrual basis is more comprehensive. And I would like to tell you one more thing, that the accountancy which you are going to study, this topic like this accountancy is based on accrual basis only. We hardly follow cash basis. Got it? Then cash basis of accountancy or accounting is not recognized by Companies Act. Now what is Companies Act? Companies Act is basically that act which is giving us all the rules. पूरा business world जिस act के अंदर चलता है, that act is known as Companies Act. तो Companies Act क्या कहते हैं? That this basis of accounting is it's not logical, it's not good. Because many expenses and incomes are there which are related to this year, but we are not recording them. It means that this basis of accounting is not giving us true and fair view of profits and losses. Though it is a simple method, but still, and like we are not getting true profits, because somewhere somehow we are leaving some income and expenses which are related to current year. It doesn't matter that we have received in cash or not. हमें ये सोचना है कि अगर कैश में मिलता या कैश में कोई इनकम मिलती या कोई एक्सपेंसेस कैश में पे किए होते तब कितना प्रॉफिट रह जाता. गॉट इट? That's why, but all these facts are being ignored under cash basis of accounting, so it is not a comprehensive view. So basically it doesn't give us a comprehensive view, and that's why it is not recognized by Companies Act. But on the contrary, accrual basis of accounting is recognized by Companies Act, because we are recording those expenses also which have not been paid in cash but they are of current year. Because we are recording those incomes which we have not recorded, which we have not received in cash yet, but they are of current year. Then the next is cash basis of accounting is suitable for small business concerns, right? When a small business can maintain the books as per cash basis of accounting because they hardly have any credit transaction. But when the size of business is large, then we not only sold or we not only trade in cash, rather we trade in credit also. So accrual basis of accounting is suitable for large businesses. Then the next comes, as we are recording the transactions the way they are. Way they are means if they are in cash we are recording, if they aren't in cash we are not recording. It means that this basis of accounting is simple. But accrual basis of accounting is little complex because here we need to understand various aspects. Fine. Then under cash basis of accounting, personal judgment and estimates are not required. But under accrual basis of accounting, we need personal judgment and estimates also. Like I'll give an example to you. You know the meaning of the word depreciation. Depreciation means reduction in the value of the asset. Like you buy a non-current asset today for rupees 5 lakh. But and suppose and you want to sell it off after 2 years, then do you think so the asset will be sold off after 2 years at rupees 5 lakh only? No, the price will get reduced. Now from 5 lakh might be the price get reduces to 2 lakh. So this 3 lakh, that is the fall in the value of asset, this is known as depreciation. But now I would like to tell you one thing, that depreciation, it's just mere estimation. ऐसा नहीं होता कि 3 years के बाद या 2 years के बाद जो आपने एसेट परचेज किया था उसकी वैल्यू 3 लाख ही फॉल हुई होगी. इट मे फॉल मोर देन 3 लाख ऑल्सो, इट मे फॉल लेस देन 3 लाख ऑल्सो. हम कितना डेप्रिसिएशन चार्ज करते हैं एक एसेट पर, दैट इज प्योरली आर एस्टिमेशन. But under cash basis of accounting, depreciation is not charged at all. Why so? Because depreciation is a non-cash expense. You know the entry of depreciation by now. Entry of depreciation is depreciation account debited to machinery account. Now here neither cash account is debited nor cash account is credited. It means neither cash comes in nor cash goes out. Then as per cash basis of accounting, this transaction should be recorded. But as per accrual basis of accounting, we are going to record this transaction though it is a non-cash. And moreover, the amount of depreciation which I have charged on this asset. Let's say I have purchased the asset for rupees 5 lakh and I am charging depreciation at the rate of 10%. Now why do I have selected this rate of interest? The reason is because it's on the basis of my personal judgment and estimate. Nowhere it is mentioned that you have to charge depreciation at the rate 10% only. A company may charge 10%, another company may charge at the rate of 12% or 8% or 7%. So that depends upon company to company. So we call that under accrual basis of accounting, personal judgment and estimates are required. So I hope this topic is clear to you, and this is all about the topic and the chapter process and basis of accounting. Thank you.